you guys were asked, the directions said, determine the zeros or roots of each function or equation. Remember, when you're graphing this, basically you're figuring out where it crosses this x-axis. They call these x-intercepts zeros or roots. And the reason why they call those zeros is because your order pair, the y is the 0. And in question number 14, we're just working on a different page here. Give more space. You could have solved this quadratic in multiple ways. Jasmine, what did you do first? Plus 5. Keep going, Jasmine. What do we got?
2x squared plus 8x plus 8 equals 0.
All right, Jasmine. How did you decide to cook the potato? How did you decide to solve this quadratic function? She wanted to use the quadratic formula. Okay. Tell me the quadratic formula.
X equals plus minus
Square root.
b squared minus 4ac over 2.
Wrote down the formula. Super happy. Let's get our A, B, and C value. Diana, what is your A value?
2.
And Diana, your B value? C value. Diana, go ahead and do the substitution. Huh?
Oh, just gonna
Uh-huh. Good job. Carla. Simplify.
It's going to be x equals negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 64.
Negative 4 times 2.
Negative 8.
And negative 8 times 8.
Negative 65. Over 4.
Good job. Jonathan? What is the square root of 0? Square root of 0 means two identical numbers that multiply together equals 0. That is 0. You can put that in your calculator. Alright, Jonathan, let's split this answer up now into 2. Go, Jonathan. And the other one? So here, notice that I'm using the plus or minus at the very end. When do you do it, class? The very end, right there. We're just splitting those up. And Jonathan, if you simplify those, what do you get? Negative 8 plus 0. And negative 8 divided by 4. Negative 8 minus 0. And negative 8 divided by 4. Oh, that's ironic. There are two answers that are exactly the same. Now, you could, super fancy, this will be next chapter unit's lesson, is you can say x equals negative 2. You can say there is a double root. Or you can say multiplicity of 2. Multiplicity of 2. What does this mean? If you graph it, I know that it graphs up I know that the x value, the graph's going to cross through at -2. It's going to go through a y-intercept of 8, and my graph's going to look something like this. So it's only going to touch at x equals -2, not twice, but they call that a double root or multiplicity. Now, did someone use something else other than quadratic formula? What did you guys use? Can I see one of your papers? So you can cook a potato multiple ways. Doesn't have to be quadratic formula. But class, does quadratic formula always work?
Yes.
Will factoring always work?
No.
Factoring will not always work. Let's take a look at the student. They set it equal to 0. Good job. It's okay they did not see the greatest common factor. A times C, B value is 8. Two numbers that multiply are 4 and 4. They realize your A value is greater than 1, so they have to put it into the box. 2x squared, 8, and then the 4x. Now, something I noticed here, this one is a 2x times 2x class is going to be a what? 4x squared. So that means we can keep one of these as an x. And then that will give us 4 times x is 4x. 2x times what class? Equals a 4x. This would have to be a 2. 2x times 2 gives me 4x, and then 2 times 4 gives me 8. So my answer is going to be x plus 2. And 2x plus 4. Now the student does get x equals -2. And the reason why that also works is if you factor out a 2, the factored form might look like this. 2 times x plus 2 squared. Right? You have 2 x plus 2's. This one you just factor out a 2. And then you have 2 x plus 2's. And then that's the greatest common factor. But I want to show you that you can use different methods to solve. Raise your hand if you like factoring better. Raise your hand if you like quadratic formula better. So if I were doing the problem, playoffs, I think baseball playoffs are starting tonight, right? You can go for the home run. You can swing hard and say, you know what, I'm going to try for factoring. But will this always work? No. Then you have at least hit singles, get on base, and help your team out. Use the quadratic formula.